Start recording. Okay. So yeah, as I mentioned, we're just getting kind of the basic stuff set up. So there's a few steps to this, and we're gonna use a couple different programs. And basically, what we're gonna have is set up is like a cloud setup for our project. So that's going to make it so you can download your work on another computer and keep going. You're going to be able to you're going to be able to get updates that I make to the software as well and download them into your project that you're working on. And to do that, we're going to use something called GitHub. So the first thing that you're going to do before opening Godot at all is get a GitHub account. So some of you guys might have one already. If you don't, that's fine. Um, you're going to go to GitHub first. I don't know why that's like the third link in this thing, but that's the first thing that you're going to do. So you're going to go to GitHub first. You can see I'm obviously logged in. I'm going to sign out for a second. So you'll see something like this. You're going to click sign up, and it's going to take you through the sign up process. You can use whatever email you want. You just have to, be able to sign in. And once you have the account, GitHub is basically just like a code sharing platform. So I'm going to sign in. We're not going to go over like all of the stuff that GitHub does quite yet, but we're just going to kind of get it set up. So I'm going to sign in. So once you're signed in, you're going to also want to download a program on the computer. If you're using a school computer, it's already on there. If you're using your own computer, you're going to want to download the GitHub Desktop app. This is just an interface on your computer that will communicate between the GitHub Cloud account and your computer. And as I mentioned, you can download this anywhere, and so you can sync your files to any computer, the lab, your home, wherever you're working. So you're going to download GitHub. I already have it on here, so I'm just going to open it up. If I can spell it. Okay, that's what it's going to look like. And it's actually downloading some changes. So I'm going to click this. It probably doesn't make any sense right now, but eventually you'll know what that means. Okay, so this is what the app looks like. You can use it on Mac or Windows. It works on both. Once you have the GitHub desktop, then you're going to fork this starter project that I created. So this is a 3D game template that you can basically start building a game in. There's a button right here. Since I'm the person who created this, it's grayed out, it's disabled for me. But for you, when you're logged into your account, you're going to see this button called fork. And when you click that button, it's going to make a copy of this project, but it's going to be under your account. So that means you can make changes to it and do your own work on it. So that's the next step. Once you've forked it, you're going to be able to download it. So when you fork the account, you're going to go back to your GitHub desktop app. And what you're going to do, it doesn't show it right here, but you're basically going to go to clone repository. And it's going to let you look through your repositories. So you're probably only going to have one unless you've used GitHub before. But you're just going to search through your repositories, and you're going to find the one that you want to download, which is this 3D game template. And then the last thing that you have to do is make sure your local path is somewhere where you want it to be. So by default, you can see that mine is on my desktop in this like folder that I created for this class. But by default, the local path is going to look like this. It's going to be in your documents folder, under a GitHub folder. It really doesn't matter that much where the files are. You just need to know where they are so you can access them. But what I would recommend doing is creating a folder for the class on your desktop. So it's easy to find, and you can have multiple projects in there. And so you can just change the local path to whatever you want, and it'll make that folder. You can also do it using the UI. So you can just type right in here if you want something other than what it has filled in here. Or you can click choose and just click around on your computer until you get the folder that you want. So just make sure you have the folder that you want, and then you click clone, and it's going to download all those files onto your computer. So then, now you've got all the files on your computer. Now you just need to open it. So if you're on a school computer, it has Godot on it. You can just hit like the Windows key, type in Godot, Godot, go to apps, and just click on it. If you are on your own computer, just click on this link and download, whatever version it is. If you're on Windows, you want the 64-bit. For Mac, I think there's only one version, not the standard version. Yeah, just download Godot. Once you've done all of that stuff, you're going to have a folder on your desktop, hopefully, with your game template. And there's going to be this project.godot file there. It's not most likely, depending on if you're on Windows or Mac, it may not know that it's a Godot file. It may not recognize Godot yet. If that's the case, when you double click on it, it's going to say, what app do you want to use? And you can just find Godot and choose Godot. I guess I can't really recreate that process. I could do like maybe, yeah, so you'll say open with. Your computer may not know about the Godot engine yet. You can go to more apps and look for an app on this PC. I have it on my desktop just to make it easier to find. Anyway, once you open it up, it's going to look like this. And you're going to have a bunch of stuff in here. And that's kind of where we're going to get started from once we start building our first scene. So that, I think, is it. I think that's everything we need. Yeah, and then we'll kind of go from there. So we have a lot of time to do that, maybe more time than we need, but we'll get started. And then if we have like a lot of time left over, we can get into some other stuff, but that's where we're going to start. I'm going to